to another Manhood Academy debate. We have another special guest. We're hoping this is going to be a formidable opponent, or maybe a friend to the Academy. He goes by the name of Sigmar, and he'll be debating Professor. Now, I'm not exactly sure what we're debating. I'm sure we're debating feminism and other aspects of feminism. But Sigmar, before we continue, we post these debates online. Do you consent to have your voice recorded, which will be altered? We'll post the audio version on the website, Manhood Academy website, and also on YouTube. And do you consent your voice to be recorded for this debate?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. And
I consent.
Professor, do you want to add anything?
I consent.
You consent too. All right. So, Sigmar, since you're our guest, please go ahead and continue. And what are your disagreements or your opinions about what you've read and the content that you see here at Manhood Academy?
Excellent. All right. Well, before I get into my contention, I'll explain my purpose for being here. I'm more here because, like I told you prior to the recording of this, I'm here not to prove you wrong. I'm here because I want you to prove me wrong. Because from what I studied in history, and all the studying I've done in history, it all comes to the same conclusion that society is inevitably going to die, and we are descending into a dark age, and there's nothing we can do about it. So that is what I would love for you to prove me wrong, so to offer some hope to the future. Now, I first came to your site, I believe, about a year and a half ago. I first found it, and I discovered it when I was researching something on YouTube. I think it was feminism, and your videos of feminism came up. And my initial impressions of your site was very positive. It's always a pleasure to see someone speaking against the evil of feminism and the awful effect it has in society. So that's always welcome. There's plenty of critics of feminism, and that is why I was appealed to your site at first. I also respect the notion of accountability and debates. So, online debates, having your views out in the open, not being afraid to voice them. So that is what I liked about your site. However, as I viewed your site, throughout, I first viewed it a year and a half ago, as I said, the more and more I viewed it, the more and more my interest waned. And it declined and then ultimately dissolved after a while. And then when I came back a few months ago, I started to see trace elements of hypocrisy and then more hypocrisy until eventually, after a while, I decided it'll be fun to debate just to see if I'm insane or you're insane or maybe we're all insane or something. So let me start. You have before I start, let me just check. I believe my interest started to wane and ultimately dissolved because you have an irrational agenda against women and the hypocrisy I've noticed. Now, first things first, I have seen your videos, and your videos, for the most part, again, highlight the hypocrisy of feminism. They highlight the problems with feminism, and that's my.
Hold on, one second, real quick here. Do you consider yourself just a person investigating our site, or do you consider yourself a men's rights activist? It sounds like at the very least you're an anti-feminist or an egalitarian, whatever you would refer to yourself as.
I don't think I'm a men's rights activist.
Okay, so you're just a guy who came across the site, man, happened to agree with some of the views, and you've been against feminism prior to coming across our site?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now we'll get into the theories a little later, but
okay.
Let's talk about things I do not like.
Right.
It's your videos, though they do highlight the hypocrisy of feminism. Women expecting to be paid on a date, women using men for money, et cetera, et cetera. I cannot consent with that. That is immoral. So I agree with you on that. But your videos, like I say, appeal to emotion. You have, for example, in your effects emasculation video at 10:15, the first video. Okay. You have a man and a woman fighting in a pool.
Right.
And the underlying caption says aggressive bitch behavior.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure if you know the context of it. Do you know the context, why they were fighting?
The context isn't relevant. It's just relevant that there's a drunk bitch at some party aggressively approaching a male, either trying to instigate a fight or get in his face.
Wait. You sure you're talking about the right segment? I'm talking about there was a segment where...
Well, let's just... Wait, it's effects of emasculation, right?
First video.
Effects of emasculation, C-U-L-A-T-I-O-N. What's the time?
10 minutes, 15 seconds, around that.
10 minutes, 15 seconds. Oh, this is a different one. I thought you were talking about the guy kicking the feet out from under the bitch. This is, aggressive bitch behavior. Okay, so this guy, let's backtrack just a tiny little bit. Okay, so there's Mangina's rushing to the rescue on the game show.
Dogs can feel human emotions, so stay relaxed, firm, and confident.
Okay, there's a Mangina award. Okay, then this chick fighting against this guy. Alright, so there's a chick fighting against a guy in a pool.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think part of it was cut, for whatever reason. I don't recall when I first pulled this clip. But it's indicative of when you see like women, as we showed in another clip, where a woman tries to fight a man and she's drunk, she throws a punch, a guy throws a punch back, and all of a sudden Manginas rush in, emasculated males, white knights, whatever you want to call them, rush in to her aid and try to beat up the guy, which is the same thing that's basically happening here.
Yes, so you're saying that you know the context, you know that she was in the wrong?
I believe so from when I cut it out. Feel free to show me the whole video if there's other context you can bring to it. But
I briefly looked for that video and there remained the context before. I don't have it, so I don't know the context. For all I know, you can be right.
Right, but usually, let me just make the point. I understand what you're saying. It could have been, maybe it caught her right after she got raped by him and then she's acting out. That's one possibility. But usually when I'm pulling clips, generally I realize that our opponents or critics or whatnot are always going to be looking to make sure we're not pulling things out of context or it's just, a fake video. There's always that possibility. So when I look at a clip, I try to look at the whole context of it, and then I always try to look at what the media spin is on it, and if there's, of course, other context or people are talking about it, I look to see if it's a fake video. We've done this on, I actually, maybe one or two other instances where there's been some inaccurate videos that have been taken down because of that in the visitors section. So usually I want to, even before I present a video, I want to vet it a little bit to make sure that it's a legit video, number one, and that it's showing something that's, that's some aspect of feminism that we're trying to highlight, some inequality or some bullshit hypocritical agenda, something along those lines. We want to be pretty definite. So, for instance, we have the McDonald's video, which was controversial, 2 women jumping over a counter. We want to make sure we have eyewitnesses, testimony, there's a trial, there's, we can see. If we just saw the video, we wouldn't necessarily have a lot of context. We'll hear some girl behind the counter calling a guy a pussy. So now I want to investigate and get the real story on this. But those type of videos, they could go either way. People are saying, well, this guy is beating some woman helpless with a metal rod. But if you take the whole context, it's 2 women harassing a McDonald's employee and then approaching him in an aggressive manner. So like you're saying, context is all important. And a lot of times the videos speak for themselves, and of course you got to be careful about fake videos. So that's all I could comment about that particular video clip you're talking about and the effects of emasculation. All those clips have tried to pull either they're the dog, the chick training dogs. The voiceover is for comedic effect, but the clips being shown are clips in this context where showing some hypocritical behavior by women that feminists don't challenge.
I understand. My issue was that if you did not know the context, which you say you can't remember, but you say you do. If you do not know the context,
well, you gotta understand. Look, you gotta understand. We've made tons of videos, so sometimes I clip something, but I don't necessarily when I'm looking at it initially. I may have the whole video, but I may only want to use a short piece of it, just like that, for time's sake, and just to make sure it's staying within the narrative of the video. So I may pull a little piece of it, but I'm not necessarily going to save it, or I don't necessarily make a notation and say this was from X video, so I don't have it off the top of my head. That's not the important, that's not an important, footnote off the top of my head to remember where this video came from. So
I'm just making sure that I understand. I agree with the principle of what you're trying to say. If the girl walked up into a pool, slapped him for no other reason, yeah, he has a right to defend himself. I actually agree with that. But I'm saying I didn't know the context, whether she was in the wrong or not. Whether you have a guy getting hit in the stadium by a woman, and then a guy starts attacking him. I have no idea what that guy did, who was in the wrong in that situation. At 11:10,
you're talking about the guy he's saying, I'm allowed to be here at the tennis game. He's talking loudly, and a woman slaps him, right?
I have no idea.
What is it at? What number is it at?
I think it's 10:55. 10:55 on your effects of emasculation.
10:55. Yeah, that's the guy at the tennis. This is the guy. I remember this one. The full context. Again, I only took a little clip out of this, but this guy is at a tennis game. He's basically talking to a woman, saying he's allowed to say things, and then she slaps him, assaults him. So it jumps from words to immediately she initiates a slap. And there's the whole video, you can watch it, but again, I'm only taking the isolated clip to show the important part where she's attacking him, and it's, the context is fine. I know we've always been accused by...
X, where do you learn of the context? You just watch it?
It's on YouTube. Yourself? You can watch the video yourself. You can see it from the beginning. You can see the news story about it. Often there's news stories about it, so they either interview them or get the, if there's a police report, you can kind of get the gist of the story that way, along with the video itself. So there's a full context for that video, along with a story about it, a news story about it, so you can kind of glean from that what's taking place. And just watching the video, you could kind of see what's going on. It's not like a video that's trying to fool you. It's kind of unfolding before your eyes. The guy's just filming it, what's going on. You can kind of see what's going on. You can kind of see the context of this thing. This guy's talking loud. Whether he's shouting during the match, a tennis match, or just talking to her in particular and saying, hey, I'm allowed to talk here. In either case, whether he's just a brash, drunk guy or he's just a guy who's talking to her during the match, when is it ever justified for a woman to attack a man? Same, you just gotta look at it the other way. If a woman was talking to a man, and how many times have we seen a woman challenge a man in the street? Is it justified for that man to just go up and smack her just because she's saying something to him? So if we won't do it one way, when we want to absolve the man of accountability if he attacks a woman, then surely the same context should apply. So regardless of if you know the context or not, you see a man using his words, and then a woman attacks him. So if we can't allow it one way where the man attacks a woman, and she's just saying something, then we also shouldn't allow it the other way. So regardless of the context, we're showing equal behaviors, and we're seeing unequal judgments of the same behaviors, same types of behaviors.
I just, like I said, I understand the principle of it. Apparently I should have researched more about those videos. I don't know.
Right, you know what? I know where maybe some of those complaints come from, because we get a lot of complaints from feminists who, their initial reaction after seeing the effects of emasculation is, you cherry-picked these incidents and took them all out of context. This is complete bullshit, because this is being said like after the first watching, as if they know the context of the videos. I know the context of the videos better than they do, and all I get from feminists is, oh, you just cherry-pick things. They don't even necessarily go in depth to do the research to show me where I'm wrong. They just make a blanket statement. So it's understandable that we get critics making these bullshit claims against our videos, but we're more than welcome. That's why we hold these debates, so that we can call out our cowardly critics, call out the people who want to say we're wrong or we're doing something disingenuous in a video, we're not showing both sides. That's exactly why we have these debates, so we can have public scrutiny of our work. That's the only way we can get to the truth of the matter.
We can, first of all, who's the moderator?
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. If you are ever spoken over and you need silence from me, just appeal to Blue. He's the moderator.
You can always appeal to the moderator. I'll make sure you get your point across.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So you can say I'll be content with this, and we can move on, because in that case, you have researched extensively the context of the video, and you weren't labeling an innocent woman, let's say an aggressive bitch, when she was defending herself, or so on and so forth. But you can say with certainty that the videos you show that are an accurate description, that the woman is in the wrong, that the guys who attack her, the cops that attack the guy who gets hit with the purse, if the guy didn't do anything to her.
If somebody wants to challenge the video, any of our videos, they're welcome to go through it with me, video clip by clip, if need be.
Well, that's not what I asked. I said.
No, I'm just saying to you, to answer your question, if people want to go, accuse us of just taking clips out of context, I'm more than welcome or more than happy to go through clip by clip of the effects of emasculation, or other videos where we just take clips of something, just to prove that what we're saying is true.
Okay, but you're certain those clips are true?
I'm not 100% certain, but I'm as certain as I can be.
Well,
how certain are you of studies that you've read? Medical studies. Are you 100% certain those studies are valid?
Well, the studies, I'm not going to put a video of someone who I don't know is guilty or innocent.
Oh, but wait. You run your whole life by studies. What are you talking about? There's so many studies that you aren't even aware of, that you just take on an authority, from some authoritative figure telling you, eat your vegetables because of this, or do this amount of exercise because this consequence could happen. You take studies for granted all the time. So it would be hypocritical for you to say that you have 100% certainty over everything you do in your life based on a study, or some authority figure has told you some piece of information. You haven't researched it 100%, and I would challenge you on that. So for you to require 100%...
Go on.
So for you to require 100% certainty from me is absurd at best, and hypocritical at worst. I mean, like I said, I could challenge you and say the exact same thing. You're not certain about things that you do in your daily life that you based on authority figures telling you certain information or things you've learned in school. I mean, how often do kids go, well, that information in that textbook, I'm going to challenge that. They just take it. They just learn it. And it becomes part of their education, upbringing, their point of reference. Often people, why do you think we have like old wives' tales or Snopes, which is notorious for unmasking commonness, urban legends, things. I mean, I hear every time, not every time, all the time I hear things that I've thought were valid, just because you hear them so often, repeated by other people, quotes attributed to people, and then you go to the Snopes or you hear some, I learned about this thing that wasn't true. I hear it all the time. I mean, there was things that I didn't know growing up, and I just took for granted that that's the way it was, or that was the correct piece of information. And I found out later, oh wait, that was way off. I just heard it repeatedly.
Well, I'm trying to have a difficulty following you because you're telling me that, you see, when you put a video of someone or a picture of someone and say,
right.
Hey, they're a child molester, they're a bitch,
right.
they're a so and so forth,
right.
and you don't have the adequate evidence to back it up, what is that, malicious speculation? I mean, what?
Okay, so I would challenge somebody, whoever thought that this woman wasn't being a bitch, wasn't being aggressive, this wasn't a situation. I mean, you have a fight in a pool. How often the circumstance itself almost lends credibility to our context. We have a woman in a pool versus a guy in a pool. Again, I wish I had the full clip to show it, but there was another incident, I thought that was the one you're referring to, where a woman is coming at a guy, throwing a drink at him, he kicks his feet out under her. It would be one thing if it was out of the realm of possibility. But so often, I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of women acting like aggressive bitches in just the most mundane situations. So this isn't a stretch. I mean, I could have very easily played another clip or 1,000 other clips of women acting like bitches. This just happened to be a convenient clip because it showed men coming to the rescue, as men are, white knights are often want to do. So it's not, I just needed a clip to show the white knights running in. That happened to be the clip I was using. It's not just some anomaly where this woman is attacking a man. I mean, we have way too many clips, even in our own visitor section, to show that.
I agree with you. There's plenty of violent women in the world. There's plenty of episodes of violence that you can take. I don't agree if you don't know the context of labeling someone on a video. I mean, I don't even know if the video is authentic. I mean, who knows? Maybe it was
So you think everybody staged, they're all in the pool and they staged the clip?
Unlikely. Very, very unlikely. In fact, very unlikely.
That's what I think too. I'm using my brain.
Okay. But I don't agree with labeling someone something online. I mean, it's malicious speculation.
I do. It's called description. It's like saying, is the sky blue? Well, your eyes could be, it could be broken, could be off. You might be colorblind, but you're going by your observation. And if you see the sky is blue, it's blue. If I see a woman acting like an aggressive bitch, I think she's a bitch. That's my observation.
Let's reverse it. There's plenty of episodes of violence, regardless of gender. And I know you're focused on the women, but let's say, women, a guy gets violent. Mm-hmm. Women know a guy to get violent.
Right.
And then you have a situation that comes to you where you have to defend yourself, but this woman who knows guys are violent films you and says you are the aggressor, you are the savage, you are the, has a video of you in there, and she doesn't know the context, but simply because she's taking your logic and saying, well, because a lot of men do it, it wouldn't be a stretch. No, it's not a moral thing to do.
If that was the MO of women, that would be one thing. But if you know anything about the men's rights movements or emasculated males or white knights, they go out of their way to justify themselves, to use logic and reason, whereas women don't. That's the key distinction here. I mean, women lie all the time, and because they're absolved of it, they've been trained to do it so often that it reminds me of the woman who cried rape because she was a landlady. I think she was a landlady, and she came to some guy's room, and the guy started filming, and then she just sat down on the film while she sat down on the bed while she's on film and started saying, rape, you're raping me. I'm like, that's just blatant, but that is the MO of women. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I see women. I have my own experience dealing with women. I know how they act like children. They are more apt to lie blatantly because they think people will buy it. I mean, they don't even, look, men try to justify their lies with reason and logic. They try to at least have some story, some plausible alibi when they lie. Whereas women will just tell these silly lies just because they feel they can get away with it. They won't even bother to rationalize it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen videos of women saying absurd things, even like in reality shows, you see all the trash all the time, And then later they have to justify why they did it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I even said that. Oh no, that's just not me. I mean, women were saying nigger this and, making all these offensive remarks about people. And when they're called on it in the media, oh, that's just not me. Like, they don't even bother to justify or give it at least a good excuse for why they did it. They don't even lie about the excuse. They just say, oh, it just didn't happen. That's acceptable for women, though.
We're going to go to, I'm having a lot of fun. We can go to your viewpoints on women. I want to do that.
Okay.
However, I do not, you're saying because...
I'm saying that there is a culture...
Hold on. Sorry. You're saying that because it's not a stretch for women to be wicked and to do these things, that this woman in a pool, this woman fighting elsewhere and hitting the guy in the head with a purse,
yes,
you are automatically assuming they're in the wrong. Because you find it common characteristic of women to commit acts of evil.
Here's what you're making a straw man here. You're making this like that she's Satan. Okay, you yourself are indicative of an emasculated white knight. The very fact that you are rushing into the rescue, you're Captain Save-A-Ho rushing into her rescue, wanting to verify each detail of this encounter, make sure it's 100% totally factual. The very fact that you have this mentality to rescue this woman who is most likely a bitch, I'm going to say a 99% chance that she's a total bitch. The fact that you're willing to 99%. Run in and rescue her is indicative of the emasculated mindset that I'm talking about. I mean, I have to battle against men's rights assholes who are so horrendously emasculated. They don't even realize how delusional they are, how feminist they are, how much they are influenced by feminism, and why they're in the pitiful situation they're in. They are emasculated because of feminism, and they don't realize this. But I have to try to show them this while showing the general public our work. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'll show clips of something or show, or even, not even from me, there'll be other stories posted from other men about incidents that we see in the media, and these are just general talking points about how there's inequalities in society, and you wouldn't believe the number of men who are just like you running in to verify 10,000% that this is correct. There's no, what if this, there's so many hypotheticals. Well, what if she was doing this? Oh, what if she was in a bad state of mind? You didn't see the whole context. Exactly the same arguments you're putting up. Now, granted, that would be fine as long as it was fairly done both ways. What about all the stories about men who are falsely accused of rape, men who are accused of diddling children? You name it. So there's all these stories in the media, that lady where we find out the men are exonerated, but when these stories are put out, you don't see people running in. You don't see guys like you running in to defend this guy. Oh my God, this could have been this. It could have been this. What about this situation? Maybe he was in this frame of mind. Maybe the woman did this. You don't see the same type of emasculated white knight mentality rushing in to save the woman, rushing in to save her, to absolve her of accountability. Whereas when it happens to men, it's the exact opposite. It's just the knee-jerk reaction. He's guilty. He's bad. Right, he's evil. So if it was just one way, if you were acting this way with men and women, I could understand. I could fully understand. But I know you too well because I've known guys like you, and I deal with guys like you all the time who are Captain Save-A-Hos and rush in to defend the women. But if you did this to the men, it would be one thing, but you're doing it only to women. So it's really irrational to start off. I mean, the whole premise is intellectually dishonest.
You're saying that, you mentioned straw man, you mentioned intellectually dishonest, and here you are assuming that I would not think it's an injustice for a man to be falsely accused of something when I've already said that if the situation was in reverse, it would be
I don't buy it for a second. I don't buy it for a second.
Wait, moderate. Furthermore, you may think that I am an emasculated man, a white knight mangina, and, for both our sakes, I hope you're right. But to me, you represent the decline of Western civilization. Now, not as much as feminists, but still, when you make such silly arguments that I am automatically a white knight simply because I'm saying the possibility that a woman might be innocent, that I am a white knight simply because I've already agreed with your principle. We've met in the
You actually haven't, because it went over your head. You're talking about yourself.
Professor, let him finish his
Sorry.
I have agreed with your principle. This isn't an issue of men and women. This is the issue of condemning the innocent. That's the issue. Not me sticking up for a woman, not me sticking up for a man, but condemning the innocent. You can go, Professor.
Okay, this is not, and you're not agreeing with me. You were talking about yourself, as if you were a singularity. You're just this one entity, and I don't deal with any other men. When I'm addressing you, I'm addressing guys just like you, emasculated males just like you, who are Captain Save-A-Hose. I'm not just talking about you personally, but I don't even buy your bullshit claim because I've heard, you don't realize how common you sound to my ears. How many times I've heard guys say, there's this debate over, that was online about holding doors open. And I knew this one was coming. Guys are always saying, well, there's the argument that, well, we only hold doors open for women. Obviously sexism because we don't hold open doors for men.
Wait, start over again, say that again.
The chauvinist mentality that traditional values where men are supposed to take care of women, protect them, put their jacket down on puddles, hold doors open for them, hold car doors open for them, whatnot. So there's this mindset that you should hold the door open for women because it's courteous, it's chivalrous. And then people say, well, why don't you do that for women? And there's guys that rush in and say, oh, I do that all the time, no matter what. Complete bullshit. I mean, sure, there are people who are polite, but the types of arguments they make are feminist in nature. Because if they were genuinely concerned with both genders, you would see, in any media case, you would see the same numbers of men and women rush in to defend the so-called victim or whoever is, or give the accused the same. They'd afford them the same opportunity to defend themselves in the court of law versus just stringing them up in public or just having a mob mentality. You don't see that. So it's bullshit from the public response. It's complete bullshit from the public response. If they were really as egalitarian as they all claim online, then why aren't these comment sections egalitarian? Why are the most upvoted comments when there's a male who's accused of something against a woman, fuck this guy is bullshit, and then when the genders are reversed and a woman's accused of something, it's, oh, poor her, she needs medical treatment. And these are the most upvoted comments. Who are these people upvoting these comments? Who are these people making these comments? Where are the egalitarians that we all hear about online? We hear everybody's egalitarian. Who admits that, hey, I only show up when the gender is, something as bad as happening to women? Who admits that? Nobody. But who do you see showing up? All the egalitarians, all the people who treat people 100% equal. That's all the only people I see chiming in and speaking up. So I know that's complete bullshit when I see actual comments in front of me, when I see actual reactions from the public, when I see the people making posts that are denigrating men and putting women on pedestals. I see this all the time. It would be one thing if it was just one or two guys, but it's commonplace. It's on every media story. We can pick any media story you want. So to claim that this is that I am the downfall of Western civilization and I'm not doing anything to help it out here, it's utter bullshit. Your argument doesn't stand at all. I mean, if you were to see what I was doing...
I think Sigmar wants to go.
Okay, go ahead.
I could continue talking. But, I kind of distracted me. Let me see. You haven't heard my argument, but your entire thing you just said has what to do with me.
Again, you're not even hearing my point. That is I addressed that it wasn't just you.
Wait, that I do not speak out, I would not speak out as vocally. If a man was in that situation, that's what you're telling me?
Yes, I don't think you would. I do not think you would.
Okay, you do not think I would?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because I've heard many men just like you, and just what my argument stated.
Many like me.
Where are these guys who are so egalitarian that they make the same comments on videos, on stories, and media about men? Brian Banks being falsely accused. Other guys in our visitor section have been falsely accused of rape or child molestation or anything under the sun, assaulting women. Where are the guys, where are the people, when Chris Brown, had to defend himself against Rihanna? Where are the guys speaking up? Where are all the egalitarians? Nowhere to be found.
What you are doing is essentially justifying your prejudice. You are telling me that you are assuming that I am like these guys simply because I'm here criticizing you. That's not true. You are possibly, well, if these women, if you got the context right, which you probably did, the women were probably wrong. They were probably bitches. You know, I mean, that's a high probability, and your experience can attest to that. Yet, this is nothing, your comments, the comments online, whatever you've encountered in life has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Well, I've tried to address it.
The innocent is what I'm concerned about. This is what is bothering me about your site. Your site, I will hope to prove, and I will hope you will prove me wrong, condemns the innocent. I do not care their gender. That is why I'm here. Okay,
look, I've already made the argument that I'm speaking in general of men, and you're included in that in generality. I'm not speaking to you specifically. It's absurd and arrogant to think that I would focus on you, or this argument is even about you. So I will just defer to you and say, okay, let's go case by case. If you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Go ahead. Show me where. Prove me wrong.
I don't have to. Your principle's wrong.
Oh, my principle. What's my principle then? What's my principle that's wrong?
Your principle is that you have a prejudice to women because you would put a video of them, label them in a caption as an aggressive bitch, cunt, whatever, without knowing the context, simply because you have experienced, you believe, even rightfully so, that society is pro-feminist. You believe that society is, that's all right, but still, these women, you have no idea the context, so...
I don't have any idea the context. That's a false accusation. Again, I challenge you to prove me wrong. Show me a clip.
I don't care if you're wrong.
Show me a clip. You don't care if I'm wrong?
Well, then you don't care.
I don't care? I just told you. If I don't care, then why am I challenging you to show me clips?
Because you told me you don't care. You told me that.
I told you I don't care. What?
You told me
it's in one ear and out the other.
Perhaps you told me that
I didn't tell you that. Like I said, you're either delusional or it's in one ear and out the other.
You told me you don't care about it. The woman's
prove me wrong.
You spoke to these people.
I don't care about accuracy, and I told you about my vetting process. What?
Say that again.
I don't care about accuracy. According to you, I don't care. I just post whatever, haphazardly. And then I just went through explaining to you how I try to get as much context as possible, look at the media, issues, if there's media's covering it, look at commenters online, if there's a story written about it, etc.
That was fine
until
you made it seem like it was you. That was fine until you made it seem like the principle, whether like this woman's innocent or not, does not matter because there's a high probability she might be guilty. So
yeah, I'm just going to throw an innocent woman up there. Is it what your claim is?
So far, from what I've heard, it seems like you're not really concerned.
I think you're absurd, and I think the fact that you can't point to specifics proves you're absurd. So I don't know how to go round. If you want to go round and round again over the same point, I mean, all I can say is prove it.
All day because I'm having a lot of fun here.
Well, great, prove it. All I can say to your argument is just prove it. You can't.
Prove
your silly assertion. You can't.
I would have to prove it, and I do, and you're right, I would have to prove that, hey, let's say this clip, this woman was innocent, you posted her as a cunt, I agree with that. I would have to prove that.
Go ahead, prove it then.
It just seems that you do not care. You did not care if you were right or wrong.
Alright, you made the point. You think I don't care.
You called me within first, simply because I said that this woman
I already told you the justification behind that. I told you I've encountered many men just like you. You don't have to believe it.
Like me.
You don't have to believe it. I'm just making the claim, or I'm making my point with my experience. You don't have to believe it. That's up to you if you want to believe it or not.
If I want to believe that you are somehow a mind reader? I mean, what?
No, I've encountered guys just like you that argue just like you. You don't realize you're a broken record to me. I know you think you're this anomaly or you're this amazing snowflake that's the first time arguing here, but I deal with guys on a daily basis around the world. I talk to guys all the time. I got critics in my ear all the time. I get emails from these critics. I get guys commenting on our videos. I get guys like you all the time. So for you to say, oh, hey, you're just a mind reader. No, I'm going by my experience, by my observations about guys that sound like you, that act like you.
And why is your experience any more superior to mine?
Because I've proved myself. I put my work under public scrutiny. You haven't.
And here we are under public scrutiny. And
okay, so we're here. Let's get to specifics. Prove me wrong. Let's get to specifics. My work is out there. Prove me wrong.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun.
Okay, let's have the fun. I'm waiting for it. I'm still waiting for the fun.
Okay. Now, when you I'll just make my point. If you're not certain what these women are guilty or innocent, or if they're in the wrong or not.
These women now they're plural.
Huh?
They're plural now. These women who.
No, the women. For example, the three cases I had listed here. Effects of emasculation video. The woman in the pool. Woman hitting the guy at the stadium.
We know the context is that one. I told you about that one. Okay, what's the other one?
Woman hitting a guy in the face with a purse. 11:10 emasculation age video. But the point is, if you're not sure the context, you shouldn't put it up.
Wait. 11 what?
11:10 and effects of emasculation.
11:10. Well, I know the context of that one too. That was one of the videos I actually talked to you about. I think I mentioned it briefly, where she's drunk. Yeah, this is the woman who is drunk and just attacked this guy. There's a full video out there you can watch too, and you can see the context. So I have the context of that one too. So that's covered. What's the other one? I'm sorry, what's that?
What happened before the video? You know what happened?
Yes, I know exactly what happened. I saw the whole video. That's why I took the clip out of it.
You saw the whole video?
Yes.
What happened before the video? Do you even know the context? Do you even know what
happened? Yes, that's why I included the video. That's what I just told you.
I don't think you're certain, but...
Okay. Well, I guess now you're the mind reader. I guess now you're the mind reader, right? So I'm not allowed to be a mind reader, but suddenly you're allowed to be a mind reader? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm going by what you're telling me.
No, you just said you're not. Oh, you're not. I don't think you're certain. So now you're a mind reader.
Well, let's ask this question.
Okay, mind reader, go ahead.
What was the context? What was the context? I mean, excuse me.
There's a video. There's a video.
Wrong question.
Yes.
Is all you saw was the video and that?
I think there was a police report that goes along with that.
You think there was a police report?
I don't have it off the top of my head. You know how long ago we made this video? I don't keep notes on each clip. I vet the clip before I include it.
I think a person who would post such things online.
Oh my god! Now I didn't realize I need a record for every video clip I included.
For every woman you condemn on your video, you don't realize you should be certain.
Every woman? How many women am I condemning again? Please.
I got 3 right here, but you said you know the context.
We can find the video. What happens when we find the video? We can play it, and then you can watch it. Then what? Then you'll admit you're wrong. Then you'll admit you're wrong. You're Captain Sable.
If the context.
Great. Go look at the video yourself, and then come back and tell me about it.
The video, I've seen the video.
So you know about the video. You know about the full video.
I've seen the video on YouTube. Is that the full video?
Yes. There may be clips of it, but I know there's a full version of it.
I know, for all you know, the guy grabbed their ass off camera. You don't really know.
No, that's not what happened, and you can see it in the video.
Why? Because it's off camera. How are you going to know?
What? What video are you talking about? Have you seen the full video yet? We can watch it together. If you want to look really dumb, we can watch it together.
Yeah, I'm hoping you make me dumb. I really.
You are dumb. We can watch it together. I can prove you're dumb. We can let everybody here watch it together, and we'll see who's really dumb.
Well, actually, I'm not dumb for questioning.
No, you are dumb because I just told you there's the video. You can watch it. Then you told me, oh well, she could have grabbed her ass off camera. So I said, okay, genius. If you want to see how smart you are, let's let everybody here watch it and scrutinize it publicly, and then we'll comment on your intelligence afterwards. We'll comment on your intelligence afterwards after we all watch the video together. Then we'll see who's really dumb.
Which makes the video irrelevant if it happened off camera. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I said, let's put public scrutiny here. You like to make silly accusations with no specifics. I'm challenging you by saying, let's go to specifics.
I got these three things I'm naming which are specific. But I'll tell you what.
And I said, let's go to specifics. Let's watch the full video. Let's see how dumb you look when we watch the full video together.
I don't think I'm dumb for questioning the context of the video. Don't even think about using the ad populum fallacy on me.
Ad populum? Oh my god.
Oh well, because the guys like to see the video because so many people say the same thing happened on the video. That must mean they're right, and don't get into that bullshit.
We don't need scrutiny for anything. It's just as long as it happens in the vacuum of your own imagination, that's what makes it valid. Correct?
So the majority makes the decisions of who's innocent or not. It's pretty much a mob rule. Is that what you're saying?
So you're saying it's mob rule. If we sell the video, you're saying it's mob rule. So according to you, there's no reason to videotape the police either. Something could have happened off camera. That video is inadmissible. Forget it. Don't admit it.
Perhaps. I mean, if the woman is saying that something happened off camera, and there's no.
There's no point in recording, introducing any video into any evidence because something could have happened off camera.
I'm pretty sure there's plenty of, but in fact, I would say that for someone who wants to put someone on camera, and these people are apparently real, you should have more responsibility in determining if they're innocent or not.
So, like I said, I want to see how dumb you look when we show the full video clip.
I'm not dumb for questioning if it's the video authentic or not. I'm dumb for questioning I'm not dumb for questioning the video's context. I'm not dumb for saying, hey, the video might not be the accurate depiction of what happened. We don't know what happened before the video. That's common sense. That's not being stupid. And just because the majority of people see the video,
you're making absurd legalistic arguments. You're you're beating off the semantics. It's absurd.
I'm making arguments that are very uncomfortable to you.
No, they're not uncomfortable. They're just stupid. Uncomfortable would be if I was wrong and I had to backpedal and justify myself.
I'm making a case that
if I had to backpedal and justify myself, then I would be uncomfortable. Addressing your stupid arguments doesn't make me uncomfortable.
Okay, that's great. You can focus on little words.
Little words. I'm telling you the difference between the arguments here. You're saying I'm uncomfortable because I'm not being truthful. No, I'm not uncomfortable. Your arguments are retarded. Your arguments are retarded. I'm exposing how retarded your arguments are.
Plum, I don't think you're lying to me. I just think you're so prejudicial. You cannot see.
This is what's making me uncomfortable. This is what's making the argument uncomfortable for me. Is that what you're saying? I'm prejudiced, and that's why I'm uncomfortable?
I don't know. You know that more than me. I don't really care about that.
You just said the arguments are making me uncomfortable. You went to mind reading mode again. That's not the point. Every time I try to corner you on something, you jump around. You're a coward. Every time I try to corner you on and challenge you on one of your points you're making, you just jump around. You're not even thinking reasonably.
What's the challenge that I'm avoiding?
Oh, keep going. Keep going. This is absurd. I'm just gonna let the public scrutinize our work here today, and I'll let them come to a conclusion.
It's not the ad populum. the population fallacy does not concern me.
Wow.
I'm saying that it is reasonable to assume that this video is inadequate. You have no idea if this woman's in the wrong or not. You're posting it. That's immoral. That's the bottom line. You can try to dance around the issue all you want.
It's in one ear and out the other. You're a dummy. It's in one ear and out the other. I already explained it, and you're just ignoring my explanation. So I guess we're moving on.
You're prejudiced. That's
great. I guess we're moving on. Go ahead. I'm prejudiced. Let's go. Next argument.
And you condemn the innocent. So let's move on to
next brilliant argument. Let's hear it.
Okay. I know, one of the videos you posted. This isn't a gotcha thing. It's not. I'm not trying to say that. But
your gotcha moves are silly. So I'd love some more gotcha moves from you.
Okay, well, we'll get into that. I mean, you posted the twerking fail, Jimmy Kimmel's twerking fail on your site. Who was that, Chewy? You did that? And then he took it down?
Chewy, yeah, because it was a fake video.
Yeah, it was a fake video.
Yeah.
So,
Chewy didn't know any better. He posted the twerking fail.
So, you post a fake video on your site and you make it so it's possible that you have been deceived in other ways.
Yeah, I vetted it. That's one of the examples. I said, well, Chewy, did you do any research on this? Or Jimmy Kimmel posted this, so I deleted it. Obviously, it's wrong. We had to remove it.
Absolutely, yeah, but what I mean is, if you can be deceived so easily.
What did I didn't post it. Chewy posted it. I told him, look, I looked at it, I vetted it. I saw that Jimmy Kimmel had made it. It was a prank video, so I removed it. What do you want me to tell him?
You know what's going on your site.
Yeah, why do you think I removed it when he posted it?
My point is that if the video was fake, we all know that.
Yes.
But it's quite logical that you have been deceived in other videos which weren't real.
I did not post it. Oh.
I'm a little confused.
Another person that was not me posted it. Now you're ascribing his posting habits to me.
Didn't you approve it? I don't know. Okay, that's wrong. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
You're evil and immoral. You're wrong. You made a mistake.
No, I shouldn't have said that because I think.
So now you're fallible? Oh, you're evil and immoral, just like me.
Well, yeah, I never said I'm infallible. Which okay, I don't even know why you're going that way.
Well, if you're not infallible, I guess your arguments don't make sense.
Excuse me? How does that make any sense? What you just said?
I don't know. I'm trying. I'm just trying here. I'm trying to stay.
You're trying, but you're not really making much sense.
I know. I'll try to hang with you. Keep going.
Concern for the innocent now equals mangina. So I mean, we can. I'll you know what? If you're the measure of a man, then I'll be happy to be called a mangina. So let's.
My condolences. I'm sure you are. Most manginas are delusional enough to be happy with their own incompetence.
Yeah, manginas who stand against feminism because they're so common.
Stand against feminism. You don't realize manginas perpetuate feminism. You perpetuate feminism. That's the sad thing. Yes, you manginas, especially you men's rights activists who think you're against feminism, you're actually perpetuating it.
We'll see the assumption. We'll see your assumptions, and we'll see what the people really think of me.
Yeah, we'll see what they think.
I'll tell you what. I'll use the ad populum fallacy on you. We'll see what the people really think of me. Okay. Now,
now you're using the ad populum fallacy. Oh no, well, you can apply it. I can't.
I guess that makes me a hypocrite.
I guess it does.
But I don't know.
So now you're a hypocrite and a mind reader and evil, just like me.
Actually, the sarcasm. Actually, that was sarcasm. So I really don't care about the populum fallacy, but you do. So at least I think
you're so clever. You're so fucking clever.
I'm not clever. In fact, I'm either. Like I said, I want to be proven wrong. So let's.
I think you're doing a really good job already. Keep going. Let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Having concern for innocent is being wrong. So I guess we'll.
Yeah. You're just a martyr. Let's go. Keep going.
Okay. Now here we go. I noticed in your hypocrisy of your site that I noticed is the use. I mean, you have a thread or post female sexual predators, and you have a post like this, and this is where politically correct. I mean, this is where this is going to be politically correct, but let's go into it. You use children like any other politician to further your agenda. I think.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. Now.
No, I know I heard you. I'm just wondering how you're going to justify this absurd argument, but go ahead.
Okay. Do you know Summer Michelle Hansen or Kaylee Warnick? You know them?
No.
Okay, well, you should. You posted them under female sexual predators. And
I don't memorize everybody's fucking name that I post.
Yeah, we know that. We know you don't care when you do.
No, retard. You know how many things are posted on the site? You think I memorize every single person's name? Are you high?
And here you are criticizing John the Other for not knowing what goes on in his
so now you are a men's rights activist. You're buddies with John the Other, right?
I have no idea who he is, but I've never met him. I'm not a men's rights activist, as you can see. But your hypocrisy is showing in the fact that you don't know that you accuse someone. I mean, you put someone under female sexual predators. These women...
Not knowing their name is different than not knowing the reason why it's on the site. They're two different issues.
Okay, we'll go into the reasons.
Holy fuck.
We'll go with that.
Are you dense?
All right. Now, why why are women who are merely accused, under a title thread called female sexual predators? I mean, has it ever occurred to you that these women, they might be victims of, a child lying about them, a vindictive parent trying to destroy their reputations? Has it ever occurred to you about that? Why would you post them under female sexual predators unless they've been convicted?
Wait a second. So why do we even do it with men? Why do we even do it with men?
Hold on, chill. Chill.
I'm chilling. Go ahead.
Why would you post them underneath, if they had not been convicted? Other sites do it too. I mean, there's plenty of child sites that post, oh, well, this person's been accused, this teacher's been accused. I mean, I don't think it's right, in the sense that it's so easy to get your face on there and to be condemned like that and to have your reputation destroyed on a mere accusation. So, I'll repeat my question, and I'll let you answer, and I'll let you have a rebuttal, whatever you call it. Has it ever occurred to you that these women might be innocent?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't feel that. But why would you post them on a female sexual predator?
You want me to answer that, or are you just going to keep talking around in circles?
Wait, you stopped talking. What are you talking about?
I'm waiting for you. You just asked me. I said yes. You want me to answer it?
Are you going to answer it?
I'm waiting until you're done. You want me to interrupt you?
No, don't. Go on. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, look, okay. Men are accused all the time. There are crime statistics that are used to create public policies, to make legal precedents, etc., based on statistics, stories, etc. For example, like in the case of rape, I mean, the definition of rape has been so perverted by feminists, it's absolutely meaningless at this point. When I hear a guy did raped or sexual assault, it's meaningless. It's laughable when feminists use these words. But they've taken this term and they've created public policies and hysteria based on the exact type of thing you're talking about. Stories about men doing this without proof. It could just be an accusation. I know they count certain things as rape that aren't rape, that are just ridiculous. It's not even anywhere near the notion of what we consider to be rape. But they are counted as official statistics. So if the government is creating legal policies to penalize men just for having a penis, then why can't we start gathering the accusations against women that are made publicly, that are in the media? Why can't we also make a record to show that women are just as culpable, women are just as accountable, or should be held just as accountable as men? Women commit just as many crimes as, it's even shown statistically that women commit more abuse than men do. But guys don't know this, women don't know this, nobody knows this. So the very fact that we're doing a service by accumulating all these news stories about women molesting children, sexual predators, or what have you. It's to show that this happens to both genders. So we don't just have a lopsided case like we do today. People only think men molest children, that men only assault women, that men only commit rapes. It's absurd. It's absurd. We're the only site that is listing women like this. We're one of the few sites even doing this. So if anything, we're the ones who are helping men out, who are changing society for the better. Other people are lying about it, lying by omission, not even talking about these stories. Why are they so quick to post men being accused, Kobe Bryant being accused, whoever being accused, without a fair trial? There's no problem with that. There's no problem with accusing public leaders.
I agreed with you about the issues of rape and the issues of like how rape is such a stupid definition now, and the hysteria and all that stuff. Hello?
Yes?
Did you offline? I don't know. I see.
No.
Yeah, he's listening to you. You can formulate your point.
Great. Okay. I was on board with everything you said, but you said something that bothered me. You said, "Well, men are demonized." Excuse me. You said a long rebuttal, so I'm trying to get it all into. You said men are demonized about this rape, the rapes accusations, false rape accusations, all this stuff, and you said, "What's wrong if we do that to women?"
No, not if we falsely accuse women. What's wrong with reporting women who are accused? Just like men are accused in the media. What's wrong with reporting women being accused?
Well, I don't think neither's right, but I don't think neither's right because these women have not. I mean, it is too easy to have your reputation destroyed by a benevolent little brat or by a vindictive parent. So I don't agree with the men.
Okay, I would agree with you, except I think you're full of shit and that you don't make the same claims against other people who post these stories against men. I think we're the only site that you're doing this to. So if you could show me that you've done this in the past, or you have comments posted against false accusation or people making false accusations in the past, then I would entertain your reasoning. But I think you're full of shit. I think you're just like every other emasculated male out there who is trying to find every avenue to absolve women of accountability and make every allowance for women, but you won't do the same courtesy for men.
Let me tell you something. Why is my character and my actions so important to you? Isn't my argument more important?
No, your argument is full of shit. That's why I'm going to your character.
You don't. Hold on, moderator, please. You have no idea what I do or anything, yet you're making all these false assumptions. As a professor in an academy, your argument is so full of assumptions that it's become. I mean, you are in fact dodging the argument when you're saying that. Oh well. I'm a mangina because I don't believe it. This. Your assumptions are ridiculous. You have no claim. I'm saying this. There's a possibility. I don't agree with the men's sites that do it too. I mean, there's plenty of them, and there's plenty of sites that do females. You're not the only one who posts female sexual predators. Why? Because I researched it. But this focus on pedophilia is a big concern in society, so you're not the only site that does it. But I'm talking about. I don't agree with it in men's issues, and I don't agree with women being accused. And you have no proof that I don't care about men. It's only your assumption that says that. And just because I'm here challenging you, and I'm in a battle for the truth, that automatically makes me unsympathetic to men's causes, simply because I am challenging you. That is, you have a notion that you are, it's almost as if, it seems, correct, I'm sure you're going to object, that you have a notion that your site is infallible, not wrong, and that me challenging it makes me a mangina, makes me, when I'm simply challenging you. I'm talking about I'm not worried about sex right now, I'm talking about the innocent. Has it ever occurred to you that these women, you said plenty of men get put on those sites. Plenty of men get put on those sites as even though they're accused. So what's wrong with doing it to women? Well, I would say everything. Because it does not matter the sex. All that matters is these people, men and women, get put on these sites on a mere accusation and have their reputations destroyed. So, I don't think you don't know if she's innocent or not, Kelly Warnick. You don't know if when I research the cases, the cases sound ridiculous. For example, it's one kid's word against hers. That's going to be a charge that's dropped, most likely. Hence, what are you going to do? Apologize to her for having under female sexual predators? I mean, what about the woman, Summer Michelle Hansen? Maybe she did it. Maybe she's the most wicked woman in the world. But the kids all know each other. The charges will probably be dropped. We need to apologize to her. I mean, I don't care about your assumptions, Plum. I don't care if you think that I do not care about men's issues. That's not the concern. I'm talking about your condemnation of the innocent, which is why I'm here. Come back with more assumptions?
No, you're full of shit. You're delusional. You're delusional.
More assumptions.
You're delusional. Moderator, can you shut this fag up? You're full of shit. You're delusional. You mischaracterize the argument. And the reason why I know you're a coward is because cowards like you run from specifics. That's why we always challenge our critics to bring specifics against us. You make general blanket statements and you're full of assumptions. You're full of bullshit. This is why this is almost a silly debate because it's just so full of general accusations. And your reasoning is absurd. I've already demonstrated this. The fact that you mischaracterized the argument a third time after I corrected you just shows you're delusional, not even paying attention to my argument. So it's going to be absurd for me to even justify it a third time. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, because I've covered this. I've already given a justification. You just mischaracterized it. Do you have another issue? Because I'm going to say the same thing. I just think you're delusional and absurd, and intellectual cowards like you do not want to cover specifics, and that's what we focus on, specifics, because the more we focus on specifics, the more we call out the cowards. You make vague general assumptions.
I understand the need for specifics, but I mean, your rebuttal was one giant assumption, which was completely unproven and stupid. So so I'm saying, but you did say, to your credit, that you assume that these women are innocent, and that's understandable. I don't agree putting them on a section called female sexual predators until they're, because we all know the stigmas one receives when you get called out on that, whether the teachers get their reputation.
OJ could be innocent.
Huh?
OJ could be innocent.
What does OJ have to do with a woman who's been charged?
Being that you're saying you want 100% infallibility of, I mean, everybody that's been accused, there's been people who are lying and saying, no, I wasn't innocent and all the physical evidence is against them. I mean, there's people who are most likely guilty and they have physical evidence against them. Maybe they have a picture of them stabbing somebody, Jodi Arias, things of that nature. But the fact that we could say, you're saying there's 100% certainty, as if everything is 100% certainty, it's absurd. It's absurd.
Straw man. Okay,
no, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Moderator,
you're saying straw. You're yelling straw man. Moderator, would you tell this fag if he wants the same respect? If he wants me to give him the same respect, then he needs to show me the same respect and not yell out things in the middle of my argument. Straw man, straw man, straw. I could have yelled out. I held my breath while he was giving that long, absurd argument. And I wanted to jump in, and I realized, okay, fine. Let him have his say, even though I don't agree with everything he's saying. Now, he's jumping in, and now he's appealing to you, okay? Fine. Like I said, this is all that I expect. Be consistent. Be consistent with your behavior. If you don't want me interrupting you, don't interrupt me. You can't even show me the same courtesy. So fuck you.
My apologies. I thought you were finished because you said...
Oh, you thought I was finished because while I was talking and you were shouting out, straw man, that showed you I was finished.
My apologies, Plum. I will not...
You're so full of shit.
My apologies. I thought you were done, so I thought you were...
You thought I was done while I was still talking. You thought I was done. That's why you're yelling out straw man. What a bullshit excuse. You're full of bullshit excuses.
All right, Plum, I'm going to cut you off there. Go ahead, Sigmar.
Okay. Well, I would like to say I did cut him off. I thought he was done, but I apologize.
You thought he was done. What a bullshit excuse.
Shut up. No, I really did think... I saw you stop...
So while I was talking, you were shouting straw man over me, and that indicated I was done. So while I was still talking, you thought I was done. That's the argument you're going with. That's the excuse you're going with. I'm done while I'm still talking, and you have to shout straw man over me. That shows that I'm done. So your contention is, I thought you were done. What? You make such a bold-faced lie. No, the point is, he's making such a bold-faced lie as if it just passes under the radar. This is why we go to specifics. This is why I argue specific issues like this, to show your character, to show how you approach an issue. You're intellectually dishonest.
I understand. Okay, now I understand what you're talking about. I did yell straw man. I did yell straw man while you were talking. I thought when you stopped for a second and I started talking, that's what you're really referring to, that interruption, so I apologize for that.
Okay.
All right. We have, okay. Now, like I said, I don't know. You recognize that they might be innocent. That's good. I just don't know. I mean, you have them under female sexual predators. Well, I mean, you have like on your you have a Duke Lacrosse. You have a Duke Lacrosse picture in your ebook.
I addressed that. I addressed that.
Then why do you even have them under female sexual predators? Why?
I told you. I
because
addressed that.
It's done to men, right?
Look, it's a media story. I addressed that. It's a media story, and I also addressed the fallacy you keep making. There's 100% possibility of a certainty if somebody's guilty. There's even people who've been convicted and it's a landslide and there's physical evidence. Like in the case of OJ or Jodi Arias or any of those cases where there's huge amounts of evidence, there's still that like 1.11% chance that they're innocent. I'm allowing for that. I'm not just saying it. I'm not saying you're taking my admission that they may be innocent to be like there's a 50% chance they're innocent, 50% chance they're guilty. As if I'm just like flipping a coin and haphazardly throwing these things up there.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna start talking. I don't. The notion that I don't care if they're. You're thinking I'm focused on percent. I mean, I'm not the one thinking. You're thinking I'm focused on percent. I'm not focused on percent. I mean, I'm saying you might as well just post women who have been convicted of whatever crime, whatever it could be. I don't know, death, thievery, or murder. But I mean, I mean, in a case where concrete evidence is more solid, I can understand. But in a case where it's a mere one person's word against another, nah. I mean, that's where I have contention. I mean, you have them under female sexual predators. Yeah, you do have them in the site in the thread listed as accused. I still don't agree with you putting them on the site until they've been convicted. I mean,
so we can't talk about any cases where people have been accused of anything.
Oh, you can, but label them under. It just seems that there's a notion that they're under female sexual predators already.
Well, that's the category. They're accused of being female sexual predators.
I gotcha. You're right. You're right about that. Now what I'm trying to. I don't agree with all the sites that put those accused women on there since it's accused men on there since it's so easy to be accused of something so simple. But
so we can't report what the media's already reported. Somebody's been accused of something.
I didn't say that.
You just said that. Your whole argument is that we couldn't do that.
No. The female sex. I mean, I'm more focused on you having.
Do any of the cases we posted say they're guilty? Do any of the cases we posted say this person is guilty?
Convicted. They say convicted. So.
Do any of them say they're convicted?
I think they do. Yeah, just a few.
Well, no, I'm saying some of them are post-conviction, but I'm saying, do we, when we post a story, even about somebody accused, not convicted, do we say this person is convicted?
Ask me that question again?
You're implying that we're putting them up there and they're guilty, 100% guilty.
Yes, I am.
You just said it was okay for us to report on accusations that the media reports on. We don't do independent reporting here. This is we get these from CNN, we get these from NBC, we get these from other news sources.
I understand. You're going to see where I'm going to be going with this.
I'm wondering.
Now, I think you have, let's say, list of women getting offered lighter sentences for these child pedophilia crimes and stuff than men. And I agree with you. That is an injustice, and it speaks to the irrationality of our society and the entire justice system. But I want to read you something. Let me read you. This is a quote from an author who wrote about the study of the decline of civilization. And I agree with these quotes completely. So his views are mine, but he can articulate them much better. So all right. Now, he writes about, Philip Atkinson, excellent author, writes about the decline of Western civilization and the notion of pedophilia and the concept of pedophilia in Western civilization and child molestation and all that stuff. Okay. In his book, he writes, in our modern era, children are considered sacred, so sexual relations with a child is desecration, elevating the importance of this act to a principal consideration of our legal system. So determining if an adult sexually abused a child has filled the law courts, ruined countless adult lives, and has given the power to every child to damn any adult, an ability that must further undermine the exercise of authority in society. And also, in our modern society, children are considered blameless, so children can't be held responsible for their actions. Now, in a personal letter to me, he also wrote this, and this is really important. Sexual relations with children are only treated as important by citizens of a decaying community who worship children, so treat such acts as heresy. This hysteria is one of the signs of social decline and now make any dealings with children risky. For to be accused is to be condemned. It also makes the inspiration for the laws that forbid the smacking of children, so forbidding an essential part of traditional child rearing, and thereby making it illegal to rear dutiful citizens. The issue here is clear. The child worship in society is a detriment to society, and it's leading to the decline of civilization. The fact that we focus so much more on a child's welfare, a child's sexual, not being sexually abused, a child's welfare shows we care more about individual welfare of children than the notion of authority in society.
The notion of we care more about authority. The notion of we care more about children's welfare.
Excuse me, let me clarify. I'm sorry. We clarify. I said
we care more about.
We care more about the individual welfare of children than we do about authority.
Okay.
Thus, every child has the ability to damn any adult by declaring molestation. Now, thus undermining authority, undermining parental authority, undermining, making teachers have to walk on eggshells around children. The fact that we are so concerned with pedophilia is what is leading to the decline of Western civilization.
No, I don't think it's the fact that we're doing this is leading to decline. I think it's an indication that society is on decline. It's not the cause. It is a product of.
What is the cause then?
Well, we cover this in our ebook, but. When we talk about feminism, and most people attribute it to the political arm, like we're using this term politically, the political arm of feminism in the 60s and 70s. We're talking about the principle of women trying to usurp authority from men. This is exactly what we're talking about, the usurpation of authority, or the misguided use of authority. It's basically putting authority in the hands of children. We're being governed by women and children, basically.
Okay, so you agree that this fixation on pedophilia undermines authority in society. Is that what you said? I mean, I know you said
it doesn't undermine authority. It's a byproduct of the process that we're. I mean, all our music is childish. Everything right now is just Britney Spears, Justin Bieber. It's all that bullshit. I mean, children have been elevated to godlike status and untouchable status, but this is a result of putting women in charge, of elevating and putting women on pedestals and female views on pedestals. This is where all that comes from. It's not that we start worshiping children and then society falls down. It's the byproduct. It's the things that we focus on are indicative of where the authority is going.
Let me see. We're going to get to feminism in a second. This means that still, regardless that a child has the ability to undermine authority. So what I'm saying is that Manhood Academy, by merely fixating on this silliness.
Fixating? What do you mean fixating?
You have a thread.
We have one thread. What do you mean fixating?
No accountability under feminism. You have plenty of women listed as potential sexual predators.
Well, make a note to Chewy to move them into that thread so we can just consolidate them into one thread. We have many stories in there that talk about all different types of instances of women being unaccountable. They're not specifically focused on women molesting children.
We're going to get to generality in a second. Right now, I'm simply whether you admit or not, we meet in the middle on certain issues like our despisement of feminism, but we're not going to. Well, I'm attacking an issue that I have with your site, which is why I think you are prejudiced. And now let me say this. Now, it is known that, like I said, child worship undermines authority because it allows children to
Why
claim,
are you repeating the same point? Get to your point. You already said that. I already got your point. You said it already.
I understand. It's going to go in a very good direction.
Well, make it go there right now. Why repeat the point?
You're going to formulate a point and make it go faster.
Now, like I said, historically, child molestation was not an issue in Western history. It's a relatively new phenomenon. Traditionally, in history, sex before marriage was frowned upon. Of course, we know that. Sex before marriage was frowned upon. We know that. But it was looked at with contempt. But kids married at a much younger age, 15-year-olds married 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, so on and so forth. People only now consider it sacrilege because of how children are worshipped in modern society. And now modern parents only consider it offensive if a kid gets hit like on his wrist with a ruler for corporal punishment at school. But they're also, that's offensive to them, let alone sexual relations with their child.
We got this already. Get to the point.
I'm saying they are insane. The parents are child worshippers, and I'm saying that you are, in a sense, supporting witch trials to support your argument. Let me say this. The fact is, it's not. I would argue that it's not feminism that's the detriment, as much of a detriment side as it is child worship. That's what I would argue. The worship of children.
I think
in my studies, I've studied that a civilization declines. It rises when parents demand respect from the children. It declines when children are coddled, when parents seek the approval of children.
How do children get in charge? Do children just take over adults?
We're going to get to it. This isn't the point, though. The point is, you are supporting witch trials to defend your case.
Okay.
And this is, yes, you are. You're defending, for example, let me see. Overall, let me see.
You're just rambling along. It's not even a point. Finally, you came to an assumption. You made some silly accusation. It's absurd. Let's get to a fucking point here. Holy fuck.
Last time I checked, the Bible said, honor thy mother and father. So even if you get what you want and Manhood Academy succeeds in either A, women getting worse sentences, getting equal sentences as men, or B, women get put to the domestic role and the men take responsibility for the women, even if that is achieved, you would have achieved nothing because children still rule the household.
What? How are children still? What? How are children going to rule the household if men are in charge?
People still are child worshippers. They are insane, and they will.
You are insane.
I'm saying this. So you are, like I said.
How are these kids getting in charge? Are they just fucking taking over adults? Or they have guns and just seize the adult strongholds? How are these kids getting in charge in the first place?
Well, it's a symptom of moral decline of society. That's what.
So just a general moral decline equals children are now in charge.
But still, the solution, the obvious solution. Since children rule the household, and since children are coddled and babied, the obvious solution, the more logical solution, is to hold them more responsible for their actions. Thus, you have to lower the age of consent, lower the drinking age, lower the age in the military, probably graduate from high school. All these things would have a beneficial effect on the economy. All these basic.
So basically, how low do you want to lower the age of consent?
Well, I'm not really sure, but let's assume.
Take a guess.
Let's assume we lowered it by 3 or 4 years. Now, what would happen was, not only if you lower.
I want to know how low you want to lower it.
Well, I don't think it's up to me to decide. But
let's say you could decide. How low would you lower it?
I'd have to resort to history and Judeo-Christian tradition to determine that. But I would say at least by 5 years.
Okay, so you want to make the age of consent 13.
Yeah. Okay. At least 5 years. So that is a logical solution. And not only will kids be put in the workforce earlier, alcohol sales will be fine, less arrests. We know prohibition doesn't work, so if you lower the drinking age, basically what I'm trying to say is kids should be held responsible for their actions. So they're held responsible for their actions. We lower all those ages. And that is an economical. This is why I don't think you have a sober view of events. That is an economical.
I don't have a sober view of events, and you want children to be able to fuck at 13.
It's funny how you say, your opponents aren't detached from emotion, but here you are, giving into the hysteria of child worship. Don't give me that.
I didn't realize it was so hysterical.
Okay, well, so that's the solution, is to lower it. Now, if you do that, like I'm with Milton Friedman when he says, the reason why England became, the UK became a country, it was in the UK at the time, during the 17th century became a society of thieves, hooligans, criminals, and then in the next 2 centuries became a wealthy society of no criminals, is because they removed all unnecessary laws. Unnecessary laws create unnecessary criminals. So if we do lower the age of consent, we do lower the age of drinking, you're going to see the majority of these women who you have condemned on your side exonerated by a common sense legal system. Hence, you are supporting witch trials.
Okay, have you heard about that issue of it in Africa? I think when children fuck too young, when they're around that age, I think maybe a little younger, I'm not exactly certain of the research, but they have all kinds of medical conditions. For instance, they shit themselves, and they're able to, there's physical complications because their pelvises aren't formed properly to have sex at a super young age. I'm not sure where the cutoff is, but it doesn't seem like that's even part of your consideration. It just seems like, 13 is a great age to fuck a kid.
Don't throw out a silly study, because once again, we can't confirm it, right?
Right. Well, I'm concerned with it because it seems to be an issue, and people seem to be talking about it, so I'd like to do some research into it, and maybe it's not a good idea to fuck a kid if their pelvis isn't fully formed, and it's going to create all kinds of medical issues for them in the future. I would be concerned with their welfare, so I don't necessarily know if I'd be on board with with your notion of allowing adults to fuck kids at age 13. It just doesn't seem like a sensible idea to me.
That is indicative of child worship to me, because what you
me caring about a child's pelvis and children having future medical complications, possibly. My concern with that is indicative of child worship.
Yeah, you're concerned.
Okay, Blue, I'm ready to rest my case.
You're more concerned.
Yes, I know. I've heard that. I've heard you think I worship children. That's your accusation. I'm not even going to answer it. You've accused me of worshiping children. I'm just going to rest my case right here, and I'm going to let it go to the audience. Go ahead.
Hold on. Before you rest your case, Professor, yes. Are there any other than child worship? Are there any other issues you want to mention?
No, I'm still talking about child worship.
I'm ready to rest my case.
Like I said,
I'm ready to rest my case.
In ancient society, kids married at 13, it wouldn't destroy them. But of course, you're more concerned with their welfare than you are the notion of authority. You don't really know what authority is.
I don't know what authority is, and let's say concerned with children makes me hysterical and means I worship children. Okay, like I said, I'm ready to rest my case. Blue?
Okay, good, rest your case. You see, what I'm saying is very politically incorrect. Unfortunately, it's inconvenient. The thing is, by holding kids responsible at an early age, I already said the benefits of it, and most of the women you have condemned become exonerated. Now, you can tell the hysteria in society with on child worship, with let's say How to Catch a Predator. Remember that show? Disturbing show, all that stuff. Look at the slippery slope. These guys are being charged with the attempted molestation of someone who does not exist. I would like to emphasize that. Now, when you imagine that slippery slope. How much people can be entrapped in that mentality? By that logic, I could take a guy.
I yield a year ago. Can we go to the audience? I already yield to you. I'm done. I yield.
That's great. I'm making my point.
I yield.
Let's let him have his final thought.
Yeah, go ahead. Have your final say.
Well, I'm gonna press this matter because it's really important. And you're failing to see this from a rational view, in my opinion. Now, if you take the same hysteria with How to Catch a Predator, you can basically apply it to anything. You can say, okay, well, I can go to a bar. I can tell this dude Joey, hey, there's this guy Mike outside, and he's talking trash about you. He's saying your wife's a slut. And he goes out to beat up Joey. Joey goes out to beat up Mike. Mike isn't there, or he's a hologram, whatever. And he gets charged with the attempted assault.
Why wouldn't you tell this guy to just wrap up his argument? He's arguing with himself at this point. What's the point, Blue? Yeah. I don't get it.
Can you just kind of paraphrase what your main point is, and then we can go to audience reaction?
I'm talking about the hysteria of modern society. You were supporting witch trials, so what you were doing, since the logical thing to do is to at least lower the age of consent. So you're not even worried about compromising with me, Plum. You're worried about you being right. It's not about you being right.
I think you're insane.
Wait, I'm not done. Now you're worried about you being right. Now you can at least concede that the age of consent should be lower 2 years, or maybe 3, maybe not 5, maybe some it's 15. Excuse me. You can at least consent to that, but you're more concerned with you being right. Now, what I'm saying is this: if the age of consent is lowered, whether it be 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, or even just 3 years, children are held responsible for actions. Most of the women become exonerated. So, since you are supporting witch trials, what you are essentially doing is, you are saying, let's just say it as witch trials, okay? You are saying, let's say the men in the witch trials who get charged with who get charged for witchcraft or whatever, they get burned at the stake, they get their heads cut off, whatever. And the women who get charged, maybe they don't get as harsh punishments. They get maybe branded, maybe their hands cut off, maybe exiled, something like that. And you are complaining that the women are getting lighter sentences, completely ignoring the fact that both are innocent. You can rest your case with that. You can condemn.
I rested it. It sounds like you rested it.
That's great. You can condemn an innocent girl on your.
Okay, I condemn an innocent girl. I'm guilty. Okay, now can we go to the audience reactions?
I know this is inconvenient. You don't want to talk about it, but it's
not that I want to talk about it. I think you're insane and you're wasting everyone's time. I think you're wasting everyone's time. This is not a soapbox. I would like you to conclude your arguments.
You can rage quit anytime you want, but I this is what I'm saying. You're basically condemning innocent people.
Blue, you want this guy to go on a soapbox instead of wrapping up his argument? Can we just go to the audience reactions?
You have Caitlin Hunt on your site. You have Caitlin Hunt on your site, branded as a pedophile, I might add. Branded as a pedophile. And an 18-year-old, because an 18-year-old slept with a 14-year-old, she's branded as a pedophile by your site. But you're ignoring the fact that an 18-year-old man who sleeps with a 14-year-old, and an 18-year-old is just as innocent as an 18-year-old woman who sleeps with a 14-year-old. You're ignoring the fact that they're both innocent because you only care about your own agenda. A 17-year-old sleep. I mean, a 35-year-old sleeps with a 17-year-old is no more guilty, whether man or woman.
Blue, this guy is making argument after argument about. He's arguing with himself. I already said we're an evil site. I'm ready to go to the audience.
I think you've made your point, and I think you've said enough.
Well, let me say one more thing. I think
Blue, he's not wrapping up his points. He's just making more false accusations.
Let me say
he's just making false accusations about our site, about Caitlin Faber. And I'm not answering him, but all he's doing is making more false accusations. Is that an argument? Is that a wrap-up?
You do not want to answer. You do not want to answer.
I've already answered. You're insane. I think you're insane.
You do not want to answer for your stupidity. You only care if you are right. Now, let's say...
I can't believe you're allowing this nonsense. Do you think people are going to listen to this insane guy, Blue, just ramble on?
How do we know that a Black Panther is wrong? Let's say we have an era of prohibition. And the Black Panther is pissed off because the man who gets that's all you want because you don't
have a story now. So what's this next story now?
Well, Blue wants to fucking have story time for 2 hours. He thinks that people are actually listening to this guy fucking ramble on for 5 hours. Are you fucking insane, Blue?
Sigmar, you're gonna have a final thought at the end of
final 5 minutes after this. Oh shit.
Well, I'm not rage quit.
Blue, this is my first rage quit. If you don't fucking end this guy's fucking speech, it's not even wrap up his argument. He just fucking keeps on going on with point after point after point. It's not even part of the argument, wrapping up the argument. Blue, I already conceded. I'm done. And you want to fucking let this guy escape something? I'm gonna rage quit, Blue.
Cry, baby.
Alright.
I'm about to cry, baby, Blue.
We have a rage quit. Alright, so let's go to audience reactions. And let's see here. Chai Walla, you're up.
Oh, me first. Alright, well, I noticed that the professor did cover a lot of your arguments, saying how reporting stories, like how it's not like infallible. He covered like how every story you can't, like with 100% certainty, you can't be certain 100% about like every conviction and stuff. And that makes sense to me, but it looked like you don't want to listen to it, and you were just so caught up in your own agenda. And I know at times I feel you were like mischaracterizing, because he gave you the context to some of those videos, and then later on you said, oh, well, you don't know any context, and you just posted them. And that was a lie, and I noticed you lying a few times while debating. So at some point it was just like, okay, you're saying you're not listening, you're mischaracterizing, you're lying. It became a repetitive process, and it got taxing. So that's one thing I observed. I didn't learn anything other than seeing how you're mischaracterizing and lying, even though without even realizing that you're lying. And I think I chatted with you, about 6 months or a year ago in the chat, where you brought up like, oh, you guys are promoting chat worship, and I told you that is not the focus of this site. I think it was you who in the chat was chatting with me, and you were like, oh, okay, and then you went away. I thought I answered you, but then looks like what I said to you, you didn't listen, and now you come back with, oh, child, that is not the focus of a site. Like, we're not here for child worship, but you don't keep getting it, and it shows a pattern of bad listening skills from then to now, and that hasn't changed, so it's getting taxing. That's my reaction.
Thank you, Chaiwala. Let's go to Dodger.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that you showed up, because usually the debaters that we have here aren't as prepared as you are, so I'm glad that it seemed like Professor got a workout tonight, and I enjoyed listening to that exchange between the two of you.
Did he rage quit or not?
He quit. He quit.
Okay, I rage quit. I interrupted your
reaction. This is the first. I give it to you. This is the first time I've ever rage quit from a debate. I rage quit during this one.
Are you still here though?
No, but I rage quit. I had to rage quit to get you to shut up, so I rage quit.
He said he's happy that no one's so prepared. I'm really not that prepared, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared for
Can
more.
I hear from Blue? I want to hear just from the audience. I don't want to hear from this guy anymore. This guy's a headache.
I'll drop pedophiles completely. The notion of pedophiles when we go in something
reactions from the crowd.
Yeah.
Blue, can you mute this guy so we can just hear the crowd reaction?
Finish your reaction, please.
All right. There were a couple of points I wish Professor had explained a little more about how he was about how the debater was mischaracterizing about how the debater was mischaracterizing the point, and I didn't understand that. So there were a couple of points I wish the Professor had explained a little better. But I like how the debater was actually sticking to his own point. Usually the debater will jump around, and I didn't think he did that as much. He seemed to stick to his main point, so I like hearing that. There's a definite change of pace from what I'm used to hearing in these debates.
Thank you, Dodger.
I'd like to add one more point if it's okay.
Go ahead, Chaiwala.
And the pattern of emasculation, like, from what I've observed, I have to agree with Professor. I feel you have not done this where you go and talk to people who post articles of men with false rape accusations or falsely convicted or accused. You don't go up to those sites or go and interview them or debate them and tell them, hey, are you 100% sure about this? I don't think you do that, and you're only doing it in a woman's case. I don't think you've done that, and I would like to see you show me where you've done that in the past. I don't think you have, based on my observation as well.
Thank you, Chaiwala. Let's go to death by excuse.
I think this guy's insane. I think he's a liar. First of all, he says that he was saying how the academy we're providing witchcraft because we're condemning people. When Professor went out of his way, witch hunt, witchcraft, whatever. It's insane. When Professor went, like, I think it was almost like a 5 to 10 minute explanation how he checks the background of each video he posts. He checks if there are police reports, he checks them. He goes out of his way to provide context. And for you to just ignore that and to say he's just condemning the innocent because he's not 100% certain. There's no such thing as 100% certainty. Even when somebody confesses and say they've committed a crime, even that's not 100% certain, because a lot of times people, like a father, he will confess to murdering somebody when his son really murdered them to protect his son. People do that. So there's no such thing as 100% certainty, even when the person confesses. So for you to hold this 100% perfect standard, we don't know 100%. It's silly. We couldn't even have a justice system if we held that standard because it's impossible to know 100% of whether or not something is true. Also, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. Also, you have a very, very high standard for defending males, or excuse me, you were very, very quick to defend the females, and I don't think you would do the same thing with men, simply because, that's not the point I wanted to cover. The point I wanted to cover was that if Professor is making a point based on his experience, making a general point based on his experience, so what? Why is it a bad thing? Like, everybody will tell you, if you ask them if they're a good driver, they'll say, yes, I'm a good driver. Yet there's bad drivers everywhere. So am I going to trust somebody just because they say they're a good driver? Am I going to trust you am I going to trust you when you say, oh, I defend both, when all I've seen you do is defend females? Am I going to trust that? Fuck no. Fuck no. Also, I found it ironic that you're talking about you're talking about this infallible standard. You were holding Professor to this infallible standard about how he's not specific, when you weren't specific with any of your arguments. You were so down to the letter of the law and so semantical with every point Professor made, but when it came to your own points, you just swept it under the rug. You said things like witch trials with no kind of justification for why at all. I also noticed I also think that you're lying too, because sometimes Professor would corner you on a point, and he would bring up a good point, and he'd say, and he'd make a challenge to you, and then you'd say, ask me that question again, when we all heard it. We all heard it. And also, hang on. Jesus. You would say, ask me that question again. All the time when we all heard it. And also, you did the same thing when it came to, I forget what it was. 1 second.
Alright, you need to wrap it up.
I'm not done yet. I'll finish this one point, then I'll shut up. It was when you interrupted him saying straw man, when he was clearly talking. So I didn't buy that. So I think you're a liar. I think you're insane because you don't justify anything you say. So that's my reaction.
Alright, thank you for that. Let's go to Puppy Cat.
Yeah, I also thought this debate, it sounded like it was going to be good a little bit from the beginning when you guys were establishing context. But as soon as you started getting into the specifics, and that one point where you were tearing apart the emasculation of men, and the professor kept saying, if you want to destroy it, find the clip, let's go through it second by second, we'll go through the real clips, and we'll establish who's right and wrong. And the fact that you just skirted that, and you just swept it under the rug, I lost all interest in your debate, because you don't care about specifics. You don't care about getting to the point of an argument. You're just talking about your own theories, your own views, without giving me any reason to believe you.
Thank you. Let's go to Sean.
I'm going to prove right now that this is a cult. I'm going to say I like this guy.
I want to read everything that he has to say in some kind of post somewhere, because I think he does have fair points, and I think he does back up his arguments with specifics. For example, he's talking about some of the ladies that are under the sexual predator thread, and about how he actually researched some of those cases. And it was in one, I can't remember her name that he said, but he said that it was based on an accusation alone. It may be true that some of these ladies that we're labeling as sexual predators are that way only because of accusations alone. I can't fault the logic in that he's saying that we're supporting a witch hunt because we're doing the same bad things that we accuse feminists of doing. I don't think it's as big of a deal as he's making it out to be, because it's a very, very small point of contention in the academy. All of the focus of the academy isn't really feminism so much as it is training ourselves to make it easier to make relationships with other people. That's why I like how he argued. I like how he, like I said, he backs up his arguments, but I don't, and I agree with you with,
Wait, he didn't tell us when he went to all the sites where men are falsely accused, and he went and like, well, this is not technically correct. He didn't give us examples of those.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about whether or not he's going to have these.
Hey, let's not have a debate. Let's just let each guy present their point. And just you don't have to debate it.
I don't see the point of debating whether or not he's equally gone to all these places with sexual predator lists and debated with them. I don't care about that. All I care about is what I think of what this guy had to say today. And I think, yes, he has some fair points, but I don't think it's that big of a deal because I don't give a shit about who's labeled sexual predators. It's a vast cultural fucking juggernaut. I'm not going to change it. No one here is going to change it. All I'm worried about, and all I think that I'm capable of changing, any of us are unfucking ourselves socially. That's why I don't give a shit about whether or not there's maybe just a grain of injustice in maybe like putting ladies in a thread that no one is fucking going to read about how they're labeled sexual predators. I don't care.
Thank you, Sean. Let's go to General Butt Naked.
Yeah, I think Puppy Cat pretty much summed up what I was going to say. The beginning started strong when he was actually went into some type of detail about what he was here to talk about, but then once the professor actually started to give him hardcore facts, telling him, produce a video where you can contradict the videos I have, and he started dancing around. That's when I just completely shut down. That's when I already know I'm dealing with, it's like talking to a woman. She only hears the parts of the context of the situation that she needs to hear in order to have ammo or something to say. So after the professor asked him to present the video, he's bouncing around, what'd you say? Well, now I'm talking about this. I'm like, oh my God, it's just talking to a freaking woman. I just wanted to bang my head into a wall repeatedly, just listening to the garbage. I was just like, give me facts. Give me stone cold facts. It's like he walked into a museum and said, all these dates you have here are wrong, and then he stopped without saying, and here's why. And here is my evidence that your dates are wrong. He's just walking into a museum saying, you're all wrong, and then he walks out, and it's like everyone in museums is like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? There's no facts. There's nothing connecting the dots for me on any of his arguments. And it's like he was told the sky was red and told to run with it, and he was completely closed off from hearing anything other than the sky is red. So he came with a closed-minded view, and the only way for him to even have an argument was just to be ignorant, which is to not acknowledge anything that's being said. Then he argues like a woman by trying to use these dramatic terms. You're promoting child, whatever the fuck. What the hell is that word? Child worship. It reminds me of a woman. Just talking dramatically because that's the only way to make a point. I was like, first, without you actually doing research on the academy and knowing what the academy is about, you make yourself into a hypocrite because you're telling him he should know everything about these videos. You don't know anything about the academy. Yeah, you're coming in and accusing the academy, which just shows what a hypocrite you are. So I don't know what everyone else is talking about. I thought your argument was lame because it wasn't specific. There were no facts backing up anything you were saying. So it was just giving me a headache. And it was just like, you were here to try to teach something, but guys like you just scare me because I'm just like, this is the mentality of males in today's society. And every time I'm hoping that males are getting somewhat smarter and something like this happens, I'm like, oh my God, this is what we're going to have to deal with in the future. So I don't know what everyone's talking about. I thought his argument was terrible the moment he started jumping from subject to subject with nothing to back up his explanation.
Thank you, General Butt Naked. Let's go to Bro Coolsif.
So, I thought at first this was going to be actually really interesting, like more of a discussion than a debate, because both people start off like going over the specifics and like kind of, I was like, oh, maybe this guy is going to actually
your mic sucks.
Are you hitting your microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Just get my reaction. It's just bad.
Can you put on your headset and try again, because it's too scratchy?
My headset doesn't change anything.
What a shame.
Blue, come back to him later. Go.
Alright, let's go to...
Hey, before we get the next reaction, give me 1 minute. I want to plug in my recorder. Just give me
We're recording all this. Don't worry. We're recording all this.
Well, I like to have my own copy, so just give me 1
keep
second.
going, Blue. Go, Blue.
Alright, let's go to the 5th of 5.
Unmute your mic. Go.
Okay, I first learned about the Academy through the debates, and I was very excited about being in one. And I just have to say, this is a fucking disappointment! Fuck, it's with this guy! Oh, that's all I got.
Well, that is a sentence. Thank you. Alright, and let's go to...
Blue.
Yes.
Just one last portion where he said that at the beginning when he said made that comment about how do you know I haven't been to other sites. I think he's full of crap. I have a little brother just entered college. He can't turn a fucking hallway without looking at a poster board that's shaming men on rape. So I'd like to know how many colleges he's walked into the feminist forum and said this is bullshit. We need to tear these posters down, do something about it. I highly doubt he's been to one single feminist site and made any of these ridiculous comments that he's making. So I definitely think he's 100% liar.
Thank you, General.
I guess that's it.
Okay, I think that is all the audience reactions.